Welcome to A Song of Ice and Fire Symposium. My name is Nav, and my pronouns are they, them.
And my name's Harmat, and my pronouns are Hershey, like the chocolate.
And this is A Storm of Swords, chapters 43 and 44, Arya and Jaime. In these chapters,
Arya cannot bear to wait, and Jaime and Brienne fight a bear.
welcome to the podcast, everyone. Hey, Harmat. I wanted to ask you a question last time that I forgot to, so I'm going to ask it now because, we're now officially past the halfway point of this book.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think of this book so far? This is one of the longer ones, so I think we should do a check-in halfway through, you know?
It's definitely interesting. I think I'm probably forgetting, but I feel like this was the first book of the series where we kind of, started hopping right away. We weren't
there
walking.
Wasn't a lot of
we
recapping.
Started with hopping, which was nice. We were hopping right away, and I was like, I'm okay with being a bunny. Let's go. Not trying to be a turtle. I don't know what I'm
turtles for no reason.
I just don't want to be a turtle. Doesn't mean they're not cool, but I ain't trying to be one. Ain't my thing. We were already turtles for the beginning of the first two books. I didn't like it. I ain't dissing it until I tried it, okay? So, I'm excited to hopefully be a rabbit when we start the next book. Anyway, I'm gonna stop with this weird animal metaphor instead of just saying
tell
what
me
I think
what
of the
you
book.
think
Okay.
about this book.
This is me delaying because I don't know what I think about this book.
I literally told you 2 weeks ago that I was gonna ask you this question today.
Okay.
You had all the time to prepare.
Yes, because I was sitting here for 2 weeks thinking about what I'm going to say for this question.
I thought you might be thinking elsewhere.
Okay, anyway, I'm sorry to be a disappointment.
As always.
Anyway. Okay, whatever. Anyway, okay, can you remind me what happened in this book? What was the first major event of this book? And then I can remember the rest of the book.
First major event.
I just can't remember where this started.
The very first chapter was Jaime, and you were like, wait. He gets a chapter, but also he's alive, because I did such a good job of, not giving that away for you.
Oh, yeah, because that was the one where Catelyn had the sword, and then...
Yeah, because this book starts kind of there's that note from George R. Martin that's this book starts a little mid
chaotic.
No, not chaotic. Well, that too, but it's not exactly chronological. There's bits that happen at the beginning of this book that happened before the end of some of the last book stuff.
Yeah, I think that's also why my perception's a little skewed. Because of that beginning, this book kind of just feels like a continuation of book 2.
Yeah, I love that genuinely you're asking what happened in this book.
I don't know.
Once you're done, you would be like, "Oh my god, what happened in this book?"
Because there's just so much. So in my mind, I'm like, I don't even know what book that happened in. But I've liked the book so far. Okay,
so Jaime and Brienne on the road. I've liked the
introduction. Yeah,
Arya.
Jaime and Brienne on the road. Have enjoyed that. John E. Greet happened this book, right?
What?
John E. Greet happened this book, or did that start last book?
Well, they met last book, but nothing happened really.
Okay, so that's been cool, this book. And Danny just going around killing people, that's been interesting.
Rob got married last book, but we found out about it this book.
Right, yeah, so the Rob, Catelyn stuff. Yeah, I mean, Arya...
Yeah, Daenerys has conquered, cities. Yeah, that's something that's happened. Totally forgot about that.
Yeah, and then Arya, Sansa, depressed as usual. What is new? Just kidding. Arya has covered a lot of, physical ground, but and emotional ground. Let's
Sansa got married this book. That happened this book.
Sansa got married. Tyrion got married. Joffrey's about to get married. We met Marjorie. So yeah, I think just because it wasn't that slow start, I think I've really enjoyed these books. this book, it's been fun. However, the flip side of that is I hate this book and I hate everything about it and it's depressing and why don't you make me read this? But I also like it.
Because it hurts so good.
No, it does not. It just hurts. There are a million other addictions we can come up with. Why this one? Anyway, it's great. I like it.
Okay, great. And then these chapters specifically, what did you think of those?
Oh, yes. Okay, so Arya's chapter, I kind of loved Arya's chapter right until the end. Then I was like, of course I can't, the universe can't let me love an Arya chapter, right? Because up until that point, I was like, you know what? I'm kind of totally digging this. And then Jaime's chapter, I loved so much. I, loved Jaime's chapter.
Good.
And I, hardcore ship Jaime and Brienne now.
Weren't you the one that was like, why does every guy girl thing have to be romantic? And now you're
yes, I have brought that up on several occasions. However, I am a multifaceted person, and the part of me that always wins is the hopeless romantic, not the logical one. And in this case, okay, the thing is, I don't like when it's, shoved down our throats. But this is just, it's, the perfect enemies to lovers, but, they also have so much in common, and it's just beautiful. This is beautiful. So I ship it. Anyway, so I loved this chapter for Jaime.
Okay.
But Arya's was really sad. Well, Jaime's was sad too, but the love kind of made me ignore the sadness, because I'd just put, a frowny face, and then I'd be like, oh, but he has Brienne.
Okay.
So, yeah.
And then who died in these chapters?
Stop. I don't remember any of them, and I know there were at least 5 deaths. Okay, let me try to remember.
There?
Yes, there were. There were a bunch of named deaths.
There were. Okay, I only remember one. I don't know. So
okay, wait. In Arya's chapter, we had the way I can't remember. I know we had a couple.
At which point?
I don't know, but I just remember being because every time someone dies, I put an X on their name, and I remember putting a bunch of X's.
Then why don't you look for those X's?
No, because I also put X's for other things.
Okay. So maybe you put a bunch of X's for other things.
No, but I think it was, but it's just vibes. It might have been minor characters, or it might have been stuff that we already knew, but I still just like to mark it. Anyway, I don't know. Okay, you know what?
Well, since I don't remember and you don't remember, somebody's gonna have to look it up.
Okay, I'm allowed
It's not gonna be me.
I'm allowed to cheat? Okay.
This one time, because I only remember one.
For the listeners, the reason Nav can't look it up, because they are busy putting little stickers on their nails.
Listen, I need something to occupy my hands. And these stickers are cute. And there's little taco stickers. And I put 2 taco stickers next to each other in a way that they make a circle taco, which is, I guess, a quesadilla.
Please.
And it's great. Y'all should all have stickers on your nails.
Freaking Theon's dad is dead.
Yeah, that was the only one I remember.
Okay, and then we already knew Hoster Tully died. And then let me look at what else there was.
Anyway, back to my nail stickers. I hate painting my nails because then they chip and drive me insane.
There's a chip on my shoulder and it's big as a boulder. Legally,
well, I don't like it.
There.
So now I found these things called nail stickers, and you stick them on your nails, and then when they chip off, you can easily take the rest of it off, and it's fun, even if it lasts 5 minutes. So everybody,
slay.
Look into some nail stickers.
The people at River Run, there's probably going to be some casualties there. None confirmed.
Right. None confirmed.
And then let me just
look it's
Jamie's
something
chapter.
That's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
Not something that has happened, so I guess Doesn't count.
The bear died.
Okay, that's true. That was actually a real tragic one. I felt bad for that bear.
I didn't.
What?
Just kidding, I did. But in the moment, I was like, you're killing them, so, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess, bear, it was a
moment.
Yeah. I get you. It was just still sad, because the bear didn't do anything. The bear didn't ask to be put in that bear pit and made to fight people with... Yeah. Okay, so the bear... And
that's it.
Balon Greyjoy. Why were you like 5 people died?
I think I just saw both of those, and because they were both significant, I like panicked and overthought it.
You know, the nail on my right hand ring finger is just so superior to all my other nails. I don't know. Okay. It's just like better shaped and can fit more stickers. Obviously,
okay. Are we ready? Are we ready to summarize?
Oh, yeah, I guess. Whatever.
Not that I want to. I'm terrified for this.
I feel like there's something else that comes in between.
No, there's not.
Okay.
We usually just we usually go on tangents. That's why it feels quick.
Oh, wow. Look at you reining us in. Okay, fine. Summarize. I'll pay attention to a clock at some point. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so they get to High Heart, the white-haired lady, also magic, predicting, she's like, I smell death, but it's actually Arya. And she's giving all these, like, oh, this is all happening. I forget everything that she said. It's fine, we're moving on. Then Arya is like, and then he gets the vision, or she's talking to Ned, and then we hear about Jon's heritage, all that. We hear the rumors. Then she's talking to Harwin, and then we're talking to, then the dude's like, oh my god, here in the flames, it says that everyone at Riverruns, the Lannisters have put them under siege. And then Arya's like, anxiety. And then Arya leaves. And then fucking Sandor fucking gets her, and now he has her, and we're really scared. Is that 30 seconds?
Switch. Yeah, I think that was just
Slay,
a little
I kind of did that perfectly.
Seconds.
Okay, Slay. Yeah. I'm so smart. Anyway, moving on. Jaime. Oh my god, I forgot what happened. I got too happy. Okay, wait, can I restart? I don't know what happened. Wait, can I restart?
Okay, 3, 2, 1, Jaime.
Okay, Jaime. Oh, so they're about to leave. So they're him, and then the Qyburn, and then the Walter, I don't know, whatever that guy, and then Brienne's behind, and then Bolton's leaving, and then he's like, remember, tell us nice things, and then he leaves, and then he has the dream, and he's like, and he's depressed, and he's thinking back to Harrenhal, and he's, all his little reminiscing, and then he's like, I have to go get Brienne because of the dream, and then he has to fight a bear, and he has to convince him to take him back, and then they successfully fight the bear, and then they are on their way to King's Landing.
Okay. I gave you like 5 extra seconds on the first one because I stopped paying attention to the clock. And then you took 5 extra seconds on the other one, even though I told you to stop.
I needed to finish my sentence. It was important.
Fine. It's like we finish each other's sandwiches.
That's what I was gonna say.
Then why didn't you say it? It would have been so cute.
No, dude, that's part of the song.
Is it?
We finish each other's sandwiches. That's what I was gonna say. Or it's Jinx.
I did not remember that.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Okay,
anyway,
whatever.
It's okay, moving on.
Just because we're wearing the same color shirt doesn't mean we're on sync. In sync today. On sync. Of course, we're on a sync. It's in the kitchen. Or kittens taking a bath in the kitchen sink. I don't know.
Okay. So, let's get started with Arya's chapter.
Thank you.
I'm going to start summarizing. Okay, so we start off and Arya's like, hey, we're here at High Heart. And
by the way, we have an email. Remind me to read that at some point.
Sounds good. Okay, so Arya's like, hey, we're here at High Heart. And then she's kind of like, oh, wait. High Heart is haunted because she kind of feels this presence yanking on her cloak. And I think this was the old lady.
The ghost, like she's actually like a ghost.
Not that she's actually like a ghost, but this.
But she was yanking on her shirt. I thought that was just the wind.
I know, but I want it to be the old lady because
okay,
makes
fine.
It creepy. Anyway, that's my crack pot prediction for the day. The way I have to pause every single time before I finish that word.
Well, you can just say it, and then everybody will laugh no matter what you say.
No, it's fine. You guys know either way, so it's okay. But yeah, so oh yeah, so Thoros is like looking into the flames, and Arya is like, "Is this man okay?" And Ned's like, "Bro, he's looking into the flames." And
what? Ned Stark's back?
oh my god, this was very interesting because first we were just like, "Oh yeah, like a dude named Ned, okay." But
Okay,
now
no,
it's
hang
like,
on. I should pay attention because this chapter actually has a lot of nuggets, and I should point out all the nuggets.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Yeah, they're back.
But Gendry at this point, Gendry kind of gets out his little, Gendry was like, "Oh, he's not even a real priest." Gendry finally gets to voice all of that. He's like, "My master said this, not me, but my master said that you were the worst priest ever."
And Thoros is like, Gendry. Fair point.
He's like, "Yeah, no, like they just kind of gave me over to the Red Temple because I was the youngest of 8. Like, what else was I gonna do?"
This less casually.
What do you mean?
Okay, first off, Thoros is looking into the flames, and he can't see anything. He says, "Not here, not now." And later on, this comes up again because that he can't get visions in on High Heart. Because it's the place of the old gods and they don't like this fire business.
Slay.
Oh, we gotta talk about that.
We love restriction.
Yeah, and then...
I just don't think we need to mention every single detail.
Well, maybe we do.
Otherwise this episode is going to be 3 hours long.
Okay, fine. So Thoros was the youngest of 8 kids, so his dad gave him over to the Red Temple, and he's not like, that's not like what I wanted to do, so I just, I did what they told me, but I also just fucked around, and it was great. And
oh my god. And he's like, sometimes I was able to see in the flames, but I wasn't like a scholar,
Yeah. And I had a gift for tongue, so they were like, let's go convert this Eris guy who loves fire so much. So they sent him over to Westeros. But Eris was more enamored with his pyromancers, so Thoros didn't do anything. But Robert loved Thoros because they were both rowdy, up to no gooders. I don't know.
Yeah, they just like to have fun, and they just vibed on that level.
Yeah.
Okay, so
and then Bear comes in with, fire consumes. It consumes, and when it is done, nothing is left. Nothing. He's real intense. They're
okay,
joking around.
way to ruin the mood, dude. We get it. You've died 6 times. Don't rub it in our face.
I think he's revived 6 times. I guess if he died 6 times, then he's revived 6 times. But that means 7 lives.
He's a cat? Confirmed? Is that a new theory?
Cats have 9 lives.
Oh, oops. My bad. I forgot. He's not a cat. Confirmed.
Well, maybe give it a couple months, Right. He'll die a couple more times.
Oh my god, true. Okay, I was totally overthinking this part where it says his pyromancers knew better tricks than I did. I was like, oh, he knows.
Oh, no, I don't think so. I just think,
okay.
Right. They had cooler swords than his flaming sword, so...
Okay, valid. But yeah, he's like...
Yeah, and Thoros wasn't like, let me help you burn down the city, so the king would have dismissed him.
True. And then Arya briefly mentions the real wolves hanging out nearby, so they're still around, because they're still in the area. And then...
Then that night, the wind was howling, almost like a wolf, and there were some real wolves off to the west giving it lessons, which I liked. Oh my god!
Yes, slay. Learn from our queen Nymeria, slay. And then at this point, they're kind of, it's night, they're going to bed, but then there's people on watch, and obviously Arya doesn't know how to sleep, so she's awake, and she sees this woman with thin white hair, and she describes her as a small, pale shape, and she's smaller than 3 feet, and her eyes are very red. Yeah, and her eyes are very red, and...
She's got one single tooth remaining.
This is scary. I was afraid. Secondhand afraid.
I mean, let's talk about her for a second. So she has all these dreams, and she knows the news of the area and all of that.
Yeah.
But she's living on this, in this area, and she has been... And she doesn't, accept money for payment. how is she surviving out here? Is she for real? And at one point she's like, I haven't been kissed in 1,000 years. Is that an exaggeration or is that the truth?
I don't know, which is why I'm afraid of her. Because I'm like, is she...
She's like, just a sweet old lady. What's to be afraid of?
Like, old Nan confirmed? Like, what is happening? Like...
No, I don't think it's old Nan.
No, I'm joking. Like, because you know how Bran was like, oh, she's so old. Like, I feel like Bran would be like, she's 1,000 years old.
Oh, anyway. Okay, sorry.
Whatever. Just don't even acknowledge my joke.
Well, my stickers are more interesting than your jokes, so.
Okay, whatever. Anyway, what did you say? Oh, is she for real? Yeah, I don't know.
Because then she feels... like, at the end, she, like, there's a sentence about how she vanished as suddenly as she had appeared. Yeah. Which, like, it's a hill. How'd she, like, jog up that thing so fast or down, you know?
Yeah, I think it's interesting. I think this is also kind of connected to the whole, like, magic's coming back. So maybe even things, like, maybe she hasn't been here for 1,000 years, but maybe it's, like, she's, like, resumed now. Like, just, like, her life. Like, maybe it was, like, she was, like, dead or whatever, but then she, like...
came back?
Woke up again or something. I don't know. But I don't know. It just... I don't think she's been here for, like, the last 1,000 years as we know it, but it's possible that she is 1,000 years old.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, like, it's not really a spoiler. It's just, like, people call her the ghost of High Heart. Like, in the fandom, that's how she's referred to. And I think maybe even George R. R. Martin says it at one point. I think I said it to you at one point, and then I was like, oh, we don't know that. And then I just, like, moved past it. Oh. But she's known as the ghost of High Heart. Like, so I don't know if that's, like, because she's a ghost or because she's, like, ghost-like, you know?
Interesting. But yeah, whoever she is, she has really fun names for them. She calls them the Ember and the Lemon and His Grace the Lord of Corpses. I enjoyed that. And then, this is the point where she's like, the stink of death is fresh on you. And then later we find out that smell is actually Arya, which is so depressing.
Yeah.
Like, please, Miss Girl.
Yeah, so they're like, okay, tell us your dreams and any news you have, and we'll give you a stag for both of them, like 2 stags. And she's like, I can't eat a fucking stag, like a silver stag. She might be able to eat like an actual stag, but you know, whatever. And so she just wants some wine, and she wants a kiss from Lem, and Lem's like, not happening.
Nah,
so she's like, well, fine, then just get Thomas Evans to sing me a song. So they agreed to that. And then she's like, okay, well, here are the tidings. The king is dead. And Arya's like, oh my god, wait, what? Because, like, they're in the Riverland, so, like, the king of relevance right now is Robb, but...
Yeah.
She says it's the wet one, the Kraken king. I dreamt him dead and he died, and the iron squids now turn on one another.
Okay, this is interesting.
Okay, how so?
Because, like, so, like, what happens now? So, like, the Greyjoys...
How do you think he died?
I don't know.
She says I dreamt him dead, and he died. Does that mean that one of the dreams she had before was a dream of him dying?
I dreamt him dead, and he died. Maybe. Probably.
Do you want me to pull up her dreams? Or her previous dreams? Okay, you know what? Let's talk about these dreams, and then I'll pull up her previous dreams, and then we'll talk about all the dreams.
Wait, how do we know her previous dreams?
Because we've met her before. We've been...
When did we meet her?
We've been to High Heart. Remember, Arya has been in this place before.
With who?
The same group.
That was her.
Like, we've literally seen this woman before.
Yes. Okay, yeah. Sorry. In my mind, that person was, like, in a cave.
No, that they go to a cave when they're like when Beric fights the Hound. That's a cave.
Okay, that makes sense. Yeah. And then before that, they went on, like, 5 other locations. Yes. Okay, cool. Yes. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Hey, there's a lot. They're going a lot of places in a very short amount of time.
And then returning places in that same time.
Okay, well, it's fine.
No,
anyway.
I'm just, like, adding to your frustrations. It's like, is this a new place or is this the same place?
Yeah, there's a lot going on. But, okay, cool. Sounds good. But yeah. I guess we can talk about this later in predictions, but I'm just kind of like, whoa, he's dead.
No, let's talk about it now.
Okay,
so how did he die? Wait, I guess we were supposed to decipher a dream. Okay, put that on hold.
Okay.
What's gonna happen now? Who's gonna be the king of the Iron Islands? And will they continue, like, the, crusade to be king, or will they just let it, know?
Right. Because, okay, so, like, I forget how, because obviously, like, the Iron Men aren't exactly like, oh, this person died, this person's the new heir. Like, we know that they're kind of, like, fighting till the very end. Like, they will take any opportunity to, like, snatch that power away from each other because they're just built different.
Right.
But, like, technically it should be Asha, right?
Right, because Theon's dead, as far as we know.
Yeah.
And
like, before,
like, he has
their
brothers.
uncles.
Like, there's that. Yeah, he has brothers. Like, we met Theon's uncle when Theon goes to Pike.
Right, yeah.
But I think it's supposed to be that, like, by the laws of the Green Lens, as the Iron Men would call it, it would pass down to Asha. Will that actually happen, though?
Probably not, because everyone else is like, I want power. But also, Asha's, like, from what I remember, Asha's, like, really well respected, right?
Yeah, she's pretty cool.
So,
and Balon was kind of, like, raising her to be his heir.
Yeah. So, I'm thinking, but then it also says, like, the Iron Squids now turn on each other, so I think it still is, like, yes, it's, like, technically Asha, but is she gonna win out, Okay.
Well, maybe if they're too consumed with the infighting, then they won't have to, like,
go freaking do their thing. Yeah, I hope not, because I think the nice thing about this is, like, because, okay, we're gonna pretend that all the other disasters that happen in these chapters don't happen. So ignoring those disasters, but the whole, like, river run takeover and all of that, ignoring all of that, the current plan is, Rob goes to his uncle's wedding and then carries on upward to get back Winterfell. We do all that, right? So that whole thing, that's easier now, right? Because now these people are busy fighting. Who's commanding the people that have, like, taken over Deepwood Mod or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
Like, ain't nobody there, right?
Yeah, this is definitely an opportunity for Rob.
Yeah, because now the only one to get in our way is, like, Ramsay, and we, like, barely know what he's up to, So I think I'd like to hope, because everything else is, by God, is everything else going wrong? So we need one win. At all times, we can only have one win for the Starks.
And this is the win.
For now. For now. Let's be hopeful. Eventually, they'll definitely get their shit together and start attacking, but for now, let's hope not.
Okay. So that's the first one. Then she says, in the Hall of Kings, the goat sits alone and fevered as the great dog descends on him. Thoughts?
Oh my god. I mean, okay. Harrenhal, Vargo Hoat.
Mm-hmm.
This was before we read the following chapters, so I was like, okay, like, Brienne's gone, Jaime's gone, Bolton's gone. He's kind of just there vibing, but, like, not really vibing.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was like, okay, is this Sandor or is this Gregor? Like, what's going on? And then I came to the conclusion that it is Gregor.
So Gregor Clegane is gonna go to Harrenhal and fuck up Vargo Hoat?
Yeah, because
that's a weird, like, I hate both of them, but like if they take each other out, that'd be great.
Yeah, because I know we don't have confirmation of Tywin finding out what happened, but I feel like in the time that we've seen Tywin,
what do you mean
Tywin
finding out what happened in regards to what?
In the Vargo stuff, because then we know
he knows that Vargo Hoat betrayed him. I don't think that's
no. But Vargo Hoat cutting off Jaime's hand.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I think by now Vargo's letter.
I feel like Tywin has enough reason to want Vargo dead, just on the fact that he betrayed him.
True.
Like the Jaime thing is like an extra, but like
yeah. So yeah, I think it's our lovely friend Gregor vibing, because now, especially as we know, Hound is definitely busy. Yeah, we love him.
Okay, so that's that. Then she says, I dreamt a wolf howling in the rain, but no one heard his grief. Okay,
this is giving... First I was like, oh, it's Ghost. But then I was like, low-key John?
Yeah, like the wolf could be like a literal wolf, or it could be one of the Stark.
Yeah, but I think it's one of them.
So Ghost or John.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's rain, and they're howling in grief. So why is John sad?
I mean, his leg is not doing so well.
Right.
He lost his girl, and maybe he's having difficulty making it back to the Castle Black. The adrenaline just ain't cutting it anymore.
Right, okay. All right, and... Okay,
because also, okay, to be fair, it could also be like Bran or like Summer or like Rickon or someone, but like I'd like to hope not, because I like to, you know, put on my rose-colored glasses and be like, oh, they're finding the crow, or, you know, one of them's with Asha, so yeah. We're just gonna go with John.
We're gonna
sorry, yes,
exaggerate
Osha.
the O.
Yes, Osha. Yeah. I wonder if we'll ever see them again, but anyway. Maybe one of them will get a POV. Prediction. Book 4, Osha or Bran gets a POV.
In
Osha
book 4?
Or Rickon. Yes.
Okay.
Osha or Rickon gets a POV, but it's probably going to be Rickon, I would assume. Because so far, okay,
love to be inside the head of a 5-year-old.
We've only had Stark or Lannister, or JK. We've had so many that aren't Stark or Lannister. Ignore that I said that. Ignore that I said that. It's fine. Are we gonna get Cersei next time? Okay, new prediction. Cersei in book 4. Tywin in book 5.
Okay.
Joffrey in book 6.
Slowly this is gonna turn into like the Lannisters are gonna be the protagonist family and the Starks are gonna be the villains.
Yeah. The moral of the story is actually being honest and good gets you nowhere. The world is corrupt. You may as well be too.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be a joke, and then it kind of hit after I said it.
Okay, so her next dream is, I dreamt such a clangor, I thought my head might burst. Drums and horns and pipes and screams, but the saddest sound was the little bells.
I literally don't know.
What caused, like, what could the clangor be?
War? Fighting? Question mark?
Right, like, I guess there's, like, drums and stuff and, like, a marching procession.
The only thing that I have... Okay, the only guess that I do have for this is, because the bells just makes me go Dothraki.
Oh, yeah.
So maybe it's like a... I don't know, like, a Dothraki, like, wedding or something like that. Like, but I don't know who'd be fucking... Maybe it's like a throwback to Dany's wedding, because in my mind, the rest of the predictions are Dany, because I couldn't think of anything else. So then I justified this as being, like... Because you know how you
also
said... Also
Dany, like, yeah.
Because you know how you said George R.R. Martin does, like, the, oh, this is true, and then, like...
he'll usually give us one thing that's like, oh yeah, we know this to be a fact, so we can trust the rest to be a fact, kind of thing.
Yeah. I know that I'm, like, kind of grasping at straws by being like, this one is the one that's true, but, you know, it's fine. It's my prediction. I can do what I want. But
why is the sound of the bells sad, though? Because those bells are, like, victory bells.
Because the wedding did not work out, man. These people, or, like, Khalazar's dead. Like, Drogo's gone.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Next up, I dreamt of a maid at a feast with purple serpents in her hair, venom dripping from their fangs.
Okay, this is where my theory falls apart. Because Dany is married. Dany is not a maid.
Right.
However, I'm ignoring that fact. Because
she's a maid at heart.
yeah, sure. Well, just because, like, you know, now it's like, now she's like single and ready to mingle again, so let's just go with that.
Like, yeah, what does, like, maid is such a stupid.
Right,
okay, yeah,
exactly.
I agree with you.
She's single and ready to mingle, so we're ignoring the technicalities. And then, okay, so the purple serpents in her hair, I'm like, have we, because then, Kate, then I went to the appendix, and I looked at all of the sigils, because sometimes I forget about half of the sigils, and I was like, none of these are giving snake, serpent, anything. So then, the only thing I could work on, I think, maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But
No, I think you're right. I was just, like, checking in my head.
Okay, cool. So then the only thing I was going off of was the purple, and, you know, like, the purple hair, Dany, so...
Dany doesn't have purple hair, purple eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I just, who else is purple?
Okay, alright, so it's Daenerys, and she's got, why does she have purple serpents, venom dripping from their fangs?
Because the dragons weren't enough. You need some more sidekicks.
Okay.
So now she has serpents. I'm aware that none of these make sense, but I just,
right.
I got to a point where I was like, I literally, like, serpents is giving nothing. Bells is giving me nothing, so I may as well make something up.
Later, I dreamt that maid again, slaying a savage giant in a castle built of snow.
Okay, this relates to the predictions that I made last time, with the whole Jon and Daenerys team up, and the whole Daenerys, is like, Daenerys is gonna fight, like, the others and whatever, blah,
and
blah,
that's
blah.
the savage giant in a castle built of snow?
Yes.
Okay. That one actually makes the most sense out of all of your others.
Also, I had a very interesting thought while editing the last episode, and it kind of relates to this, so can I bring it up now?
Yes, please do.
Okay, so here's my theory, okay?
Lay it on me.
Okay. That Jon is the Song of Ice and Fire.
Okay.
Because if L plus R equals J, then L is wait, hold up. Wait, let me think about this before I get it wrong. Okay, no. Wait, where was my okay, hold up.
Because Lyanna's ice and Rhaegar's fire, so he's the Song of Ice and Fire.
And he's song because now we know that Rhaegar and his harp, so it's like that was his conception.
Well, let me add to your theory a little.
Slay, okay.
When Dany has her visions in the House of the Undying, when she sees Rhaegar with his wife, they're looking over, like, baby Aegon, who was their kid, he says he is the Song of Ice and Fire. He is the prince that was promised. He says that about his other kid. So maybe he was wrong about that kid being the Song of Ice and Fire, and then it's actually his other kid being the Song of Ice and Fire.
I need to write this down. I'm so smart. Okay, one sec.
So, will it...
Wait, one sec. I'm writing this down.
Okay.
What was this kid's name?
Aegon. Like every other.
Yeah.
Targaryen.
It's Aegon or Aerys. Okay.
Or Aemon.
And then... Or Aemon, yeah. And then, yeah, that was my theory. And then, but however, what I don't like is then in the next chapter, they're, like, bringing up all these rumors again, and I'm like, shut up, I like my theories.
Rumors?
Like, the rumor of, like, Lady, Dane, and, like,
that's
all
this
of that.
chapter.
What?
That's literally
Arya's JK,
chapter.
It's JK, that's this chapter, my bad. Okay, yeah, but I didn't like that. But I love my theory about the Song of Ice and Fire, because we're always like, the names don't mean anything, but I feel like the name does mean something.
Okay.
Anyway, I love my theory.
Yeah.
And it just vibes with the whole, like, Dany and Jon
Right. So is John... Then is Danny the one that's gonna slay the others, or is John the one that's gonna slay the others?
Why can't they both do it?
Okay.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Yeah, and then, okay, another interpretation, it could be John, but then it's also like A Song of Ice and Fire is like Danny and John working together.
Right,
that's
John's the ice and Danny's the fire.
And then the song is like Rhaegar giving them their blessings. Or giving them his blessing.
Right, or just them, like, working in conjunction.
Yeah. Yes. Anyway, I love that.
All
it's
right.
Beautiful.
Good thoughts. So then she spies Arya, this ghost of High Heart, old woman person. I see you, wolf child, blood child. And then she's like, I thought it was the Lord who smelled of death, but it's clearly you. You're cruel to come to my hill. Cruel. I gorged on grief at Summerhall. Ding, 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 ding. I don't know. That should be, right? Yeah. Like, this,
they keep saying this. What is going on at Summerhall, man?
And I need none of yours. So Arya is full of grief and death. I mean, obviously, but also, like...
I wonder why. Do we want to dissect that?
Yeah, no, actually.
Okay, but, like... That's so sad.
Later on, she is listing, like, all the people she's killed. And, like, she is grieving over the fact that she can't seem to make it to her family ever. So, is it just that, or is there more to it?
I'd like to think there's not more to it, but then the cynical part of me, and the part of me that wants to have at least predicted anything that could happen at least once, just in case. You know, the smelling of death could also just be, like, Sandor's about to kill her, and, like, that was imminent, so... Yeah.
Why would he kill her?
I don't think he will, but maybe it could literally just be, like, a... This also isn't logical. I was like, it could be like, I see your sister in you, I miss your sister, therefore I'm gonna kill you. However, that's not logical, because Arya and Sansa are nothing alike. And second thing, I just think that, you know, it's useful to have Arya, and killing her is the worst thing that he could do, regardless of who
so
he wants
you're
to
saying that it could be that he's gonna kill her, but he's not gonna kill her.
Yeah. I'm just putting it out there in case he does a 180 on me.
Okay, alright. So Arya is stinking of death and grief.
Yay, what is new?
And also, so Summerhall, we know very little, but this is, I think, what
all we know
so
is
far.
that it's like a very depressing location and bad things.
There's some kind of tragedy went down. Rhaegar was born there, and he used to return there and, like, write in his melancholy, write some songs there.
Yeah.
And this old woman was there.
Yeah. According
Why
to her,
would she be at Summerhall?
Maybe before she was a ghost, that was where she was living. And maybe her death was the tragedy that happened at Summerhall.
Maybe then how did her ghost get all the way to High Heart?
She was like, I'm packing my bags and leaving, because I don't want to be a traumatized ghost.
Alright.
Already had it enough in my life, you know?
Alright. Then she gives us more stuff, doesn't she?
For now.
Oh yeah, she just is like, oh yeah, by the way, don't waste your time going to River Run because nobody's there. Like, it's the Blackfish that holds the rivers now. Everybody else has gone to a wedding at the Twins.
I don't want Brynden dead.
Right. We haven't gotten to that part yet, though.
I know, but it's sad.
Okay, so now, like, this is, like, legit information. Like, Catelyn is going to be at the Twins.
Yes.
So she's going to the wedding. We haven't seen her in a little bit. Hopefully we'll get an update on that.
Yeah.
So are they, like, by the end of this chapter, they were still heading for River Run because they didn't have any, like, solid information, you know?
Yeah.
Are they, well, I guess it doesn't matter now.
Well, okay. I think because the thing is, Arya is a very valuable hostage. As we know. Excuse me. So part of me...
You are not excused.
Okay. So part of me would like to hope that they'll be like, okay, but we need that girl's, like...
Ransom.
Ransom, yes, that's the word. Like, we need that. So maybe, you know, they'll chase down Clegane, like, please, you know?
Okay. Alright, so then she turns to Thoros and she's like, okay, well, you can check in your fires. Not that you'll see anything here. Because like I said, this place belongs to the old gods and they don't like that fire business.
Ooh.
And then they wake up Tom Seven Strings, and it's the same song that she always wants, which is her Jenny's song. Mm-hmm. We don't get any more info on that. Mm-hmm. But there's that.
Maybe her Jenny was the tragedy at Harrenhal, not her.
Maybe.
Do I ever hear this song about...
Like, you will hear this song.
Oh, slay! I'm excited.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, okay. The way you said that is concerning. This is definitely a very depressing song.
Because I wanted to say more and I had to stop myself.
Oh, okay. That's fair.
Okay, so that is kind of like it for her. And then later on, she just kind of disappears.
Yeah.
And Arya's, you know, talking to them and they're like, oh, where are we going to go now? Yeah. Right? That's what they're doing.
Yeah, they're pretty much like... Well, no, because first she's talking to Ned, like...
Oh, yeah, they do a quick, like, brief, like, okay, we'll see what happens. We'll figure it out. And then it, like, skips to, not long after, the sky opened. Mm-hmm. And then it's raining and pouring and just, you know...
Yeah.
Everybody gets sick because it's cold and wet and they literally don't have any shelter. So they're like, okay, we are, like, half a day's ride from this, like... village dealy, and we're gonna head there. Yeah. So they're on their way, and like I said, everybody is sick, and poor Ned, the squire, is not doing so good. And Arya's like, oh, let me like distract him by like making conversation so that he doesn't feel so bad about his sickness, which was nice of her. And Gendry doesn't like Ned for some reason. Mm-hmm. Oh, what was that? Mm-hmm.
I think he's just jealous that Arya's ignoring him and talking to Ned the entire time.
Nah, fair enough.
Yeah, but also,
go ahead.
Even though Gendry's or even though Ned's a child, but yeah, because I feel like also, I think Gendry is just like going through it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So he's just finding every reason to be upset. And, like, valid, but also not valid, you know?
Yeah. So this Ned guy, we get his description finally. He has big blue eyes, so dark that they're almost purple, and his hair is blonde, more like ash than honey. So this is, like, we kind of knew that the Danes had purple eyes. Mm-hmm. Like, we've had that conversation before. Because the Ashara Dane had purple eyes, and it was like a whole thing, right?
Yeah.
So he became Barrack's page when Barrack and Ned's aunt got like engaged, and then he was promoted to squire. So now they're like, you know, that's the dealie. That's his thing. And Arya's like, oh, okay, and they're talking about like lancing and sword fighting and whatever, and Arya's like, I'm sure I could beat you with a sword. Have you ever killed anyone? Just casually. And the kid's
out of
like,
curiosity.
I'm only 12. And Arya's like, like in her head, she's like, I killed a boy when I was 8. And my heart wept for a little bit, because nobody should have to kill anybody, especially not at an age of 8, you know?
Yeah, this was not
and this kind of like has her like remembering all the people that she's killed.
Yep. She is spiraling.
For like a 10-year-old, it's a pretty long list.
Yep.
And then, you know, her same thought, like, oh my god, my parents won't want, like, Rob won't want me because I've killed these people and I don't brush my hair.
Oh.
Yeah. And there's this awkward moment when she's like, oh yeah, we saw you at like the hands, or no, Jane Poole saw Beric Dondarrion at the Hands Tourney and fell in love with him. And Ned's like, well, that can't be a thing because he's promised to my aunt. And then he's like, wait, actually, that was before he died. So I don't know what the deal is now.
Yeah. And there was this moment where Arya's like, my dad's name is dead. And he's like, I know. I saw him at the Hands Tourney. And he was like starstruck by Ned, which is just beautiful.
Yeah. We're going to talk about that a little bit more. But he brings up John. He's like, you have a baseborn brother named John, right? And she's like, yeah, how do you know John? And first she's like, oh, maybe I'll go to the Night's Watch. Like, be with John, because he won't care if I kill people or brush my hair or not. Yeah, okay. You're just making really sad faces. And
because this was really depressing.
It is. But yeah, she's like, how do you know about John? And apparently, according to this kid, they were milk brothers. And this kid believes that Willa is John's mother. And then she served at Starfall afterwards and nursed him when he was a baby as well. And this is the name that, like, Ned gave to Robert as being John's mother.
Yeah. Okay, I was gonna say, I had that very vague memory where I was like, oh, these are the two people that we've heard about before. But are they? Like, okay, yeah. That was his little, like, oh yeah, it's her.
Yeah, and Arya's like, oh my god, John never knew who his mom was. And then she's like, okay, Willa. Like, she's memorizing it in case she ever sees John again. So that she can tell him.
I can't. This is devastating on so many levels.
Yeah, and then she's like, oh, and then he's like, oh yeah, my house this, my house that, whatever. And she's like, oh, you have a house? Who even are you? And he introduces himself formally as Edric Dane, the Lord of Starfall. Why is this kid the Lord of Starfall? Like, is everybody else dead?
Like, what's going on?
And that's also usually the case.
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, also, if he's the Lord, like, he's just kind of vibing out here. Like, is he gonna go take care of his land?
Well, lords and whatever, like, we heard maybe briefly, I won't give you too many details, but like Jaime squired for like one of the Freys or something, and they went out and...
No, like, I get that, but Jaime did that when he wasn't the heir yet.
No, Jaime was always the heir. Like,
no,
he was born the heir.
Yes, I understand that I misspoke, but like,
he wasn't the Lord yet.
Tywin isn't dead yet, and he was out here.
Yeah, but this kid, like, squiring is like train, like, it's school, you know? This is him training to be a lord.
Yeah, but I guess my question is, so here he's training on people who are kind of on none of the king's sides. So this
that wasn't how it started, though.
I know, but like, it's just like,
he's supposed to be like, Beric, send me home, bro,
no, I'm
in
not
this
saying
war.
That, no,
like,
I'm not saying that the 7-year-old should stand up for himself politically. He's just 12. Saying, yes, this 12-year-old.
He's a man grown, damn it.
Okay. Let's, okay. Like, I'm not saying he needs to go, like, take a political stance. I'm just saying, wow, this sucks for him and the future of his house, because now he's aligned, like, nowhere, and it's like... Like, I guess at the end, he could always just be like, oh, well, technically I didn't help the others either. But if it's Stannis, he's not going to care who you served if it wasn't you.
Right. And he could be like, I was 12, dude. Like,
no, but he's a man grown.
Okay, whatever. So, yeah, they go on to talk about... Oh, and then Arya remembers, like, Arthur Dane, the Sword of the Morning. And he's like, oh, yeah. So my dad was Arthur Dane's older brother. So he was, like, the Lord. And then Lady Ashara was my aunt, and he has another aunt named... What is the name? Illyria. I think that's the name of his other aunt.
No idea.
But anyway, so I never knew my Aunt Ashara because she threw herself into the sea from atop the pale stone sword before I was even born. And Arya's like, well, why would she do that? And he says, well, her heart was broken. And Arya asks, oh, did someone break it? And he's like, you've never heard this story before, and I don't know if I want to tell you because it's awkward. But my Aunt Illyria says that Lady Ashara and your dad, Ned, fell in love at Harrenhal. And Arya gets real upset about this. She's like, no, my mother is the only one he's ever loved. And Gendry's like, oh yeah, he must have found that bastard under a cabbage leaf then.
Oh my god.
And she like storms off and is like, my father had honor. And it's funny because like she knows Jon is a bastard and she loves Jon. And then she's all of a sudden like, I guess she's never thought about how Jon came to be.
Yeah. And I think, I don't know. I think it's also just like, it's almost like they're like Ned's dead now, right? And like, he ain't here to defend himself. So it's almost like they're like tainting this image of like her dead dad.
Like, like
that
she was
different.
8 when her dad died. So
yeah. So I feel like it hits different too, right? Because the whole Jon stuff and like loving Jon was like, you know, when they were all a big happy or somewhat happy family, you know? So, and like obviously she still loves Jon, but it's still like a little like,
right. She just doesn't want to hear anybody say anything unkind about her
dead dad.
Yeah. Gendry is like, at least your dad raised his bastard, not like mine. I don't even know my father's name. Some smelly drunk, I'd wager. And I was like,
he's
right.
You're
not wrong.
He's right. And then he says, but he's dead, I figure.
Yeah.
That, you're also right. Gendry, Gendry, you should be in my position because you're a prediction goddess. Like, come on. Like.
Okay. So before we move on, oh no, okay. So then she like goes up to the other people and
no, she kind of marches off on her own because she's like, I don't know why this bothers me, but it bothers me. And then Harwin kind of comes up to her and is like, hey buddy.
Yeah, like what's going on? And she's like, well, those Dornishmen are stupid liars. I don't like them. And Harwin's like, okay, but like it's not a big deal. Like when Ned met Ashara, your mom was engaged to Brandon Stark.
So he was a free man.
Yeah, like, there's no stain on your father's honor.
Yeah. And besides, like, it's a story, too. Like, this kid told you.
Yeah. And he mentions how he had also heard it at Winterfell, but, like, that's just how rumors be.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, but, like, she killed herself. So, like, that's the stain on my father's honor. And Harwin's like, oh, yeah, but I bet that was really for her grief over losing her brother. So that's his take on that. So. Oh, and then also he's like, by the way, please do not mention any of this to your mother if you ever see her, because that is not going to go well.
Oh my god.
She will deal with your unbrushed hair, but she will not.
Exactly. That will be what gets you disowned, not you, you know, looking unkempt. Like, bro.
Yeah. So there's okay, let's put it all together. So were Ned and Ashara ever in love or involved or anything?
I don't think so. I think Ashara had something else going on, and Ned being Ned was like helping out or something else. Like maybe she was in love with someone else. And
also, if Ned caused her death, why would they name their heir Ned? You know, like,
yeah.
Why would you name your kid after somebody who brought like sadness to your family?
Yeah.
So that doesn't make sense.
Yeah. I think that's just them trying to cover up what happened. I think, you know, I don't know why I think this, but part of me thinks that, like, like, maybe she didn't actually kill herself, and they're just kind of, like, framing it that way because they're trying to hide what actually happened.
So, like, somebody else killed her?
Yeah, like, maybe somebody else killed her, or, like, because she didn't have any kids, right? Because she was, like...
No, she wasn't married.
Also single? Okay.
Well, yeah, we don't...
As far as we know.
Unless, like, you believe the rumor that John is her kid.
Right. Which I do not. I am very hardcore. R plus L equals J. I can never remember the formula. But yeah, like, I really don't think so. But yeah, like, I honestly think they're trying to hide someone else. They're trying to frame it this way. So
there's something else going on that we don't know about yet. Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. What about this Willa person? Is that really John's mom? Like, how do they play into the picture?
I don't think so. Maybe Willa was like...
Maybe Willa was also John's, like, wet nurse, and that was it.
Yeah, that's possible. I think... Yeah, I honestly think it was something like that, because it might have just been, like... Like, maybe Willa was there with, like, Lyanna, and then, like, she was like, you know, I got you, girl. And then... But, like, I don't know. Because as we, like... You know that story we heard, like, a billion times where, like, or it was a vision, I don't know, where it was like, oh, like, all the, like, Kingsguard were there, and then, like, Lyanna and Rhaegar were there.
Well, no, not quite. So they're at the Tower of Joy.
Yes, there we go.
Ned has...
Where is the Tower of Joy?
Someplace in Dorne, but Ned remembers that afterwards he tore it down.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, so it no longer exists, but it was, like, in the Dornish mountains somewhere.
Interesting.
So Ned got information that his sister was there. So he went down there with some of his guys, and they encountered, like, a bunch of the Kingsguard there, guarding Lyanna.
Right.
And Rhaegar at this point was already dead.
Okay.
Like, he'd ridden off to the Trident and died there.
Right. So
but these people are still guarding Lyanna.
Right.
So that's, like, kind of... I think that was the first time I told you about R plus L equals J. Is that, like, them being there is, like, a indication that they value Lyanna and whoever else might be there.
Yeah, that makes... Actually, yeah, I remember this
because the Kingsguard are responsible for caring for the royal family. Yeah.
That makes sense. Because I remember me being like, I think it's Lyanna's kid. And you were like, funny you should say that, because this is the thing. Because freaking... Okay, so that was the Tower of the... I keep wanting to say Tower of the Hand. Tower of Joy.
Lots of towers of this show.
Right? Okay.
Books.
I'm sure they're in the show, too. Okay,
Not as many, actually.
Interesting.
Because they're never, like...
all the sets.
Like, you're there... There's never, like, a... Ned sat in the Tower of Joy or in the Tower of the Hand. Like, they never, like, name everything, you know?
That's true. That would be awkward if they did that. Okay, so for the Tower of Joy, because Arthur Dayne was there, right?
Yeah.
Because he was one of the...
guards, yeah.
Well, so I feel like there's a natural connection there between Arthur Dayne and then the other Dayne girly, I forget her name, Ashara, and then, like, that wet nurse who's kind of around in that family vibe too, or in Dorne and all that, so I think it all just kind of blends together, and it's just...
I think... With the information we have, the theory is that Willa was, like, tending to Lyanna because Lyanna was pregnant. And then Lyanna died in childbirth, so Willa took care of John while Ned brought Arthur Dayne's sword to the Danes. And then he probably, like, took John from there but left Willa there. And they probably told everybody, this is Willa's kid, instead of being like, oh yeah, my sister had a kid and it's a Targaryen. Like, you know?
Yeah. Oh my god.
I don't know how Ashara Dayne and her death plays into all of that. Like, we don't have enough information on that yet.
Okay.
So, thought I'd connect some dots. that were already there, so I just connected them. It's fine. It's not a spoiler. It's okay. It's okay. Literally, though. Okay, never mind. I can't
what?
say.
What?
Can't
No,
say anything.
Say it. No, because that makes sense. I just, what was I gonna say? I've lost it. It's okay. But yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, so let's move on because we've been talking about this chapter for a while. So they finally get to this village that is like they've been trying to get to, but it's been burnt down and there isn't much left. There's like one inn or something with half a roof, so they huddle in there.
Bro. And
Arya's like, oh, was it the Lannisters who did this? But no, this was old tear down of a village. Mm-hmm. Back during Robert's rebellion, the people of this village, like the lord of this village, Goodbrook, chose to fight for the Targaryens, and the Tullys, who were on the side of Robert, didn't like that, so Hoster Tully burned down this village. Which brings back the nobody's good and everybody sucks.
Oh my god. I hate it here.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Like, Hoster Tully, who we've, like, so far respected as, like, you know, a righteous man or something.
Well, I mean, he also, you know, the whole Tansy business. We don't love him.
You know what? You're right.
Yeah.
Not that we have confirmation on it, but I forgot about that.
Like, nah, bro.
But, like, Catelyn's always like, oh, my father, he's so great, you know?
Yeah, everybody sucks. They all just thirsting for power and doing anything it takes to keep it.
Yup. So they're discussing whether they should go to Riverrun or to the Twins, and some of them are like, we should just go to Riverrun, get rid of her, and, like, move on with her lives. But then somebody points out that, what's his name? The Blackfish wouldn't even recognize Arya. Mm-hmm. So, like, what's the point? And during all this, Thoros is, you know, reading the flames, and he, like, gets up all of a sudden. It's like, Lannisters, roaring red and gold. And he, like, goes talks to Beric, and it's, like, all, like, really intense. And they call Arya over, and they're like, okay, so Thoros had a vision of Riverrun, and it was surrounded by flames. The flames were leaping lions with crimson claws, and it was a sea of Lannisters, because the Lannisters are gonna besiege Riverrun.
Bro.
So another reason not to go to Riverrun.
You're joking.
Yeah.
I can't. Our now we definitely need to open up friendship applications because Brynden is dead. Like,
he's not dead yet.
No, that's fair. I'm hoping he'll survive.
Yeah.
I'm just worried because, like, what the fuck, you know?
Okay, so Rob and, like, everybody else seems like is off to the Twins. They're probably, like, on the way or there or something.
Yeah.
Then the Blackfish is in Riverrun with, like, probably, like, a smaller host.
Yeah.
And now they're besieged by Lannisters. Like, is this, like, currently or is this soon to be?
This is,
like we do know that, like, Tywin and everybody's kind of focused on the wedding a little bit, but that doesn't mean that they're not always, like, doing shit,
plotting, you know? Yeah. Especially with, like, we don't know what's going on with Tywin's letters and what other plans he has, you know, hiding.
Yeah, and apparently Gregor Clegane's gonna take over Harrenhal, so, like, he's in the area.
Yeah, so there's just a lot going on. I think the Lannisters are probably just, like, the Starks are weak right now, let's launch this unified attack type vibe. So, especially because now they kind of have that support from the Tyrells, and that's kind of set in stone, and then we just have to worry about the Martells.
My question was, is this currently happening as we read this, or is this going to happen soon?
It's about to happen.
Okay, so on one hand, Rob gets good news that Balon Greyjoy's dead, but then he gets news that Riverrun is besieged.
Exactly.
So is he going to take advantage of, like, the opportunity to go north, or is he going to have to return and relieve River Run?
I don't know if he, like, I don't know if he can.
If he can return?
Yeah, because it's like...
I mean, the last time, like, Whispering Wood, that was him relieving River Run of a siege. Why do I keep saying besiege instead of just siege?
Yeah, that's true. But we're definitely not getting a Whispering Wood 2.0, as epic as that would be.
Maybe it'll be a Shouting Wood. Who knows? Maybe that's the clangor that she hears.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we just have to go get Winterfell.
Okay. So
but then the issue is also, because the thing is, like, Winterfell, you know, is our home. It's our grind. Like, we need it. However, like, Riverrun is, like, the only, like, well, other than, like, the twins, but Riverrun is more central. It's, like, that central one location that we have that's safe, because everything else is, like, you know,
yeah, there's Harrenhal.
The Erie's about to get taken. Harrenhal, God fucking knows. Like, Lannisters are right there. King's Landing's right there. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's just no safe. Like, I just feel like, so maybe, because the issue, like, he might do a division of forces again.
He could.
But then the issue is, then they get even farther from each other. And both fights definitely need all the forces. Like,
right.
How do you choose?
Because he'll have, like, a tough decision to make.
What would you do if you were Rob?
I feel like not that... Riverrun probably has resources to kind of, like...
hold the siege?
Right. Because also they're on, like, literal two rivers, so they could probably fish for a little bit and sustain themselves for a little while. Yeah. So I would, like, run up north real quick, you know?
Real quick. Because Winterfell is so close.
And resolve all that. Kick out the Ironmen. Solidify that, you know, I'm king in the north and here's the north. Mm-hmm. And then I would, you know, work on Riverrun and all that.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I'm just worried every time we get a location, we lose a location, and we're stuck at, like, $2 in the bank account right now. Like, it ain't working.
So what do you think Rob's gonna do? Like, just give a guess.
I think Rob will go to Winterfell.
Okay. All right. I just wanted, like, something on the books, you know? What a bit. Yeah, so Arya's mad now because she's like, oh my god, if you hadn't caught me, I would have already been there, reunited with my fucking family, and y'all just went ahead and messed it all up. And it's just all, like, she's real mad.
Yeah. And of course, of all the times that she's tried to escape, this is the one where they can't stop her.
Right, so she, like, pushes through and she, like, runs off, and she's still within the village that they're in, but she just, like, turns a corner and runs into something or somebody, and she thinks it's one of the guards and is like, okay, fine, I'll return. But it's actually Sandor Clegane. I, like, totally forgot his name for a second.
The Hound.
Yeah, and he grabs her and takes her, like, drags her toward his waiting horse and is like, you're mine now. And Arya's like, oh fuck, this is not good.
I can't.
Oh, another thing, by the way, that fuels her fury is that they're like, maybe we shouldn't go to the twins or Riverrun, and we should, like, huddle down somewhere for a little bit and, like, strategize. And she's like, what? No more waiting, no more strategizing, we're doing this. Mm-hmm. So that's also why she runs off. So the Hound, what's he gonna do with her?
Okay.
He has no money. Yeah, he has a horse.
I've got no
alone.
money. I've got no money and no prospects. I'm a burden. Sorry.
I'm already a burden to my family. Yes.
Moving on. I don't know. Anyway. I'm losing my mind. Okay. So Sandor, here's my thing with Sandor, right? Because the thing is, the Lannisters always pay their debts. So there ain't nothing he can do now to, like, save himself from all the consequences. But if he brought them Arya, that would be a pretty sweet deal. I feel like that would make up for running off. A little bit.
He could be like, but I'm afraid of fire, though. Y'all know this. Or actually, they don't, because he's, like, it's a
but maybe it could
closely
be, like,
guarded secret. But
maybe he could be like, oh, I was actually doing it to find Arya the entire time. But who the fuck's gonna buy that? But, like, he could get some sort of, like, the Lannisters are not Stannis. You know what I mean?
Why wouldn't he bring her to the Starks?
No, I'm getting there. I'm just saying, I'm exploring all the options. So if he does that, that's the thing. Okay, so he wants money, he wants gold, he wants the luxury of, like, I can just...
drinking away his life.
Yeah, he's like, I'm sad and dead inside. Why would I want to feel or be with my thoughts ever, right? So he's like, I need the money to gamble, or I need the status to gamble and, you know, do my whole thing. So that's the thing. But then he could also give her to the Starks. But with the Starks, it's like, the Lannisters have more money, and he can kind of, like, be part of their team again. But with the Starks, like, they're not going to take him on their team, you know? Like, that wouldn't happen. So he wouldn't get that status from it. He could only really get, like, a certain amount of money and then, you know, whatever. But then once again, Robb, being all righteous, he might be like, oh, well, here's all the crimes you commit. Let's put you on trial, instead of being like, the exchange. Like, obviously he'll want to get
I think it's
Arya,
a risk either way, whether it's Starks or Lannisters.
So,
Is there a third option?
The third option... who else wants Arya? I mean, he could give her to, like the Iron Men, Ramsay, Vargo Hoat, the Stannis. But I like both of the initial options a lot better than all of those.
You like her being returned to the Lannisters?
Over Vargo Hoat and Stannis and... Yeah, yes, I do.
Fair enough. Okay, so...
here's what I think.
Which one is most likely? Give us, like...
I think probably Tywin, because also, especially with the whole thing with the Martells, with Tywin probably having to sacrifice Gregor, then he can kind of get, like, the next best thing to Gregor, which is Sandor.
Oh, because he's going to have to give up Gregor Clegane to the Martells, right? I forgot about that.
So that could be a little exchange, but also, like, Gregor, I think also, like, the reason Tywin loves Gregor is because he's, like, you know, he just he's a level of ruthless that I think even the Hound can't be. You know what I mean? Like, you know, later when Jaime's describing, like, oh, this guy's a simple soldier. He's not, like, he doesn't have the deep, malignant cruelty of the brave companions. So I think we can kind of use that comparison where it's like, Tywin still isn't going to be satisfied with the Hound's level, but I think it's the next best thing. So I think he'll do the Tywin thing.
Okay.
But along the way, we could also have a little, like, maybe Arya's like, I miss Sansa, and the Hound's like, I miss Sansa too, and they have a bonding moment, and then he decides to do the right thing. If this was a happy series, that's exactly what would happen. Anyway, those are all my theories, but I think the Tywin one stands.
Okay. All right, that's good. I was just looking for the Ghost of High Heart's previous predictions, because remember we were supposed to come back to that?
Yeah.
So let me find those. Okay, so this is her predictions from last time. Mm-hmm. I dreamt I saw a shadow with a burning heart butchering a golden stag. We figured this was Stannis' shadow killing Renly, which was our, like, okay, she is legit.
Right.
Then she said, I dreamt of a man without a face, waiting on a bridge that swayed and swung. On his shoulder perched a drowned crow with seaweed hanging from his wings. I dreamt of a roaring river and a woman that was a fish. Dead she drifted, and red tears on her cheeks. But when her eyes did open, oh, I woke from terror. and she asks for her song, and that's like, a continuous thing. So there's basically like 3 predictions here. There's the man on a swaying bridge. There's what is the other one? Oh, the fish woman drifting down a river. So 2 predictions, because the one is we know.
Yeah.
So thoughts?
Okay, can you repeat?
Okay.
It's leaving my head as you say it.
Fine. I dreamt I saw a shadow with a burning heart, butchering a golden stag.
Okay, that's over. Yeah.
Out of the way. Okay. I dreamt of a man without a face, waiting on a bridge.
Okay, slow. Man without a face, waiting on a bridge.
That swayed and swung.
On
on his shoulder perched a drowned crow with seaweed hanging from his wings.
Ooh, interesting.
I dreamt of a roaring river and a woman that was a fish. Dead she drifted with red tears on her cheeks, but when her eyes did open, I woke from terror.
Okay.
Like, are any of those relevant to how she's like, I dreamt of Balon dying and here he is dead?
I mean, maybe the, like, drowned crow one. So maybe... Are you trying to get me to say that... What's his face? Jaqen killed...
I'm not trying to get you to say anything.
You are.
I'm actually not, because I don't have, like, the mental capacity for any clever tricks.
I think that
I would love for you to say things anyway.
Okay, well... I'm gonna attribute it to you, because I think you're trying to make me say this. Okay, so, like, it's a good...
So if it turns out to be true, you won't take credit for it?
Well, I probably shouldn't, because you, like, led me exactly there.
Did I, though? I just repeated a sentence from the book.
Actually, you know what? You're right.
Maybe George R. R. Martin is leading you. Why are you accusing me of
You know what? Actually, no. You're actually right, because here's the thing. This is the exact same as if I had the book on, like, my fucking, like, laptop, or, like, if I had a Kindle or something, and I could just, like, word search and be like, drowned crow, and find shit and reread it. You're my find on this page. So, you know what? Yeah, I will take the credit if my predictions are right, because all you're doing is repeating. Anyway, what was I saying? Okay, so... This conversation is leading me to say
that I choose to repeat.
Okay, shut up. Shut up.
No, I'm just being difficult.
No,
okay,
I know
we really gotta get over this.
I know no. I'm gonna talk, and you're not gonna interrupt me. So, I know that you're very manipulative, and you do that, but it's still fine. I still get to take credit for my own words. Anyway, moving on. So, I think that where we're going with this conversation is that Jaqen Hagar killed... What's his face? Balon. That's his name.
But why, though?
I don't know. Maybe Jaqen's real identity was, Balon's, like, sister who didn't get enough love. Like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, he has something out. Or maybe his goal is to get, like, maybe he loves the Starks, and he's hyped for the Starks because of Arya now. So now he's like, I'm going to continue helping Arya by getting rid of an opponent. I don't know the real reason. All of those are bad predictions, but that's okay. I'll try to think of something. Wait,
do you remember somebody being like, I'm going to magic some shit, and these kings are going to die? Or be taken down or something?
Who said that?
A certain red woman.
Wait, what?
The leeches to take down the usurpers or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about them.
So is this a result of that, maybe?
Oh my god.
Or is that just coincidence?
Ooh, are they... Okay. Interesting. I don't think so.
You don't think it's, like, because she did the leeches ritual thing?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think... Yeah, I don't think so. But that's interesting. I'm going to keep that in mind. 1 sec.
I didn't even say anything.
No, I'm just saying. 1 sec.
My best friend of 13 years just called me manipulative.
Okay, and you didn't do it to yourself first? Like...
I hope you'll still want to be friends with me by the end of the series, though.
I'm dead.
Oh, fuck, I just stabbed myself with a really
Nail?
sharp thing.
Okay, Jaqen killed Balon. Slay. Okay, and then, sorry, what was the other prediction? Because there was two there, right? One was the drowned
fish
god
woman drifting down a river with red tears, and then
fish woman,
she opens her eyes and...
Oh yeah, didn't I think this was Catelyn's death prediction or something?
You thought it was Lysa.
Oh, right, okay. So I still think it's Lysa.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, let's seriously move on from this chapter, because I am so done with it. Okay, this next one. We're gonna go fast, because there's a dream, but this dream is like so dreamy that it's like there's like two things worth mentioning.
Let's stop talking about what we're gonna do and just do it.
I'm doing it. Okay, so Jaime is going to King's Landing, and what's his name? Bolton is also leaving for the wedding in that same time, and Qyburn is coming with Jaime to take care of him, and also Qyburn wants his place back in the Citadel, so he's gonna be like, look, I helped you, Tywin, I helped your son, make me a thing. And bold. Jaime's like, if you grow me a hand, you can be Grand Maester. And
your brother would love that, Jaime. He'd love to get rid of Pycelle.
And they're saying farewells, and Bolton's, of course, like, you'll give my warm regards to your father, just like trying to, hedge his bets, whatever. We've talked about this. We don't need to go over it. And Jaime's like, as long as you give mine to Robb Stark. And Bolton's like, for sure I will.
Oh my god.
And then Jaime goes to like the brave companions, all the, Rorge and all them. And he's like, don't y'all worry. I'm gonna leave now, but I'll be back because a Lannister always pays its debts.
Ooh.
And we find out he's being sent with this, like, soldier guy, Steelshanks, who's the commander of 200 people who are going to escort Jaime back to King's Landing.
Nice. Okay, Walton, go off.
And Jaime isn't, like, he's dressed as a knight, but he isn't wearing any of his sigils because he doesn't want to give away who he is.
He ain't trying to die?
So he just, like, finds an old shield in the castle that belonged to, like, some house that once used to rule Harrenhal.
Yeah.
What is it? House Lothston. Lothston?
Apparently.
Maybe they deserve to die. I don't know. That's such a terrible name. Lothston.
Oh my god. Okay, jeez.
Lothstons.
Ain't nobody deserving to die for their name, but okay.
You know what? They don't. I know. I'm just being weird.
You're being cheeky. It's okay. And then, they're like, we gotta sleuth our way out of here. We ain't taking the King's Road. And Jaime's
wait,
like,
before we get to that. Road. Yeah, while he's thinking about his shield, he's like, oh yeah, this will mean, because this is from like a long dead house, it would mean I'm no one's cousin, no one's enemy, no one's storm's sword. In sum, I am no one. And it was like a sad moment.
Yeah.
I just wanted to highlight it because I like the pain.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then they're like going down like game trails and everything, trying to avoid the King's Road because they don't want to get caught. Even though there's like 200 of them, they might come across like 300 of others, and that might not be good, And Jaime just wants to like get there quick. He wants to return to Cersei, and he's like, maybe I'll even make in time for Joffrey's wedding.
His son's wedding.
Yeah.
Forgot about it that way.
Yeah, so as they're going down... You know what's
so funny? Sorry, side note, what? I have to. It's so funny to me. He's always like, oh yeah, Cersei, I want her body, I want her, my lovely twin, right? But he's never like, oh, my kids. Like, he's never had a single, like, I get that you can't exactly, like, miss Joffrey, even if he's your kid. But, like, he's never like, oh, Marcella's so far away. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm like,
he doesn't have any, like, affection toward these kids, it seems like, yeah.
Yeah, which is really interesting. Anyway, yeah, let's continue. Just a thought.
Yeah. So they come across like a bunch of places that he's been before on his way back from Harrenhal, like the first time when he went to the tourney where he was named Kingsguard. Mm-hmm. And he remembers
the
like
Jaime chapters this, like, are just the Harrenhal chapters at this point. Like, please.
All the chapters are the Harrenhal chapters.
True.
Yeah, he remembers coming across this like mill, and the miller was like, "Dude, the tourney's the other way. Like, you're going the wrong way, knight, Mr. Sir."
Yeah.
And Jaime remembers like how like they made such a big deal of him taking his vows in front of half the kingdom, and then Eris sent him away like right after, didn't even let him participate in the tourney because he didn't want Jaime to win any glory. He just wanted to get back at Tywin.
But like, for what? Tywin hadn't left yet, right? Tywin left because of this.
I think he had left at this point.
Okay, because he announced
because Rhaegar didn't marry. Like Rhaegar was already married to Elia,
right?
And the reason Tywin didn't want him left is because Rhaegar didn't marry Cersei.
Oh, right. Okay, so they already had their little angry buddies going on. Okay.
Yeah. So that happened. So they're both just getting back at each other using their children. Love that.
Yay.
Yeah, and Jaime remembers like being on his way to King's Landing onto like basically an empty castle, like guarding an empty castle, and he's like, "Oh my god, I wish I could have like renounced my vows, but I couldn't because the whole kingdom saw me do it." And it was a big deal.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he's like feeling bad about his hand. He's like, "Oh my god, it sucks, especially in the morning when I'm half dreaming where I think I have my hand, but then I wake up and then it's not there, and it sucks." Yeah. Oh, and then Qyburn saddles up to him and is like, "Hey, you enjoy that visitor I sent to you?" Because Qyburn sent Pia to entertain Jaime the night before.
Right.
And, you know, she's like enamored with him. And Jaime sends her away because he reminds himself, "I have a woman." He's real faithful to Cersei. Yeah. Even though he really wants to have sex with this girl.
You know, I just had a thought. Cersei, I think we've talked about this before, but it just hit me again. Cersei, like, definitely, or no, that doesn't, yeah, that does make sense. Okay, so Cersei, first, so her dad was like, "Okay, you're gonna, like, marry the soon-to-be king, Rhaegar, right?" And then, but then Rhaegar and Lyanna happened, according to our theory, right? And then
Rhaegar and Elia happened.
No, but Rhaegar and Lyanna it's still like
also happened, yeah.
But like she doesn't know, but it still happened. And then she actually marries Robert, but Robert is like just stuck on Lyanna his entire life. And I'm like, Cersei and Lyanna, like there's just this like weird connection there.
Right, like Robert wanted to marry Lyanna, and Cersei wanted to marry Rhaegar, and there's this whole...
It's still... Lyanna is just everywhere.
True that. So there's that, and then they start talking about Brienne and how she is probably not having a good time, obviously. Mm-hmm. And Qyburn explains that they received a bird from Selwyn of Tarth, and he offered 300 gold dragons for his daughter's safe return, which is a fair price for even like a knight, you know, and this is just some daughter, so like it should be great. But Margot Hote is stuck on those sapphires that Jaime promised him. Oh my god. So, yeah. Man. Yeah. And there's a mention of how, like, they're flying the peace banner, which in this world is a flag of, like, the 7, like, gods, because they're in the south. Mm-hmm. So that was interesting, because, like, usually a peace banner is, like, a white flag. Mm-hmm. So then Jaime's, like, wondering about all the things, like, will my father have received Vargo Hote's ransom note? Did Vargo in fact send him my rotten hand? Mm-hmm. I wonder what he'll make of that. would he even want to ransom a son who doesn't have a hand that he can use to fight? All of that.
Oh my god.
Negative energy, which we don't like to see.
Lot of baggage.
Yeah. And then they come across another village that he passed, and it's like somebody gave him free food because he was a knight of the King's Guard. And he's like, I wonder if that dude's still alive and did tell his grandkids about it. Probably not. Probably the grandkids are dead too.
And he's like, they're like, oh, we can stay here for the... He's like, nope, we're continuing. We'll stay somewhere else. I ain't trying to stay traumatized.
So they, like, get somewhere else, but finally they, like, put up camp, and Jaime is so tired he can't even eat, so he just, like, falls asleep.
Oh.
And later on, he, like, realizes he's sleeping on the stump of, like, a weirwood that was torn down, so I wonder if, like, that had any contribution to his dreams,
Yeah,
you know?
That was interesting.
So he dreams that he's naked and alone, but he's got his right hand back, and he is way, like, below Casterly Rock. And there's, like, people that are nudging him down farther, and he keeps being, like... He keeps going down and down and down until he comes upon this, like, chamber with water in it. And then... He's like, oh, I wish I had a sword, because as long as I have a sword, nothing can harm me. But then he asks, like, what is this place? And the voices tell him that it's your place. And finally the voices kind of become all the Lannisters of past. Like, you know? Oh my
god, yeah.
And his father and his sister are there, but they're not, like, really affectionate toward him.
Yeah. They're all just kind of like, this is your darkness.
Yeah, and they start, like, retreating. Because they're the only ones holding torches with the light. And he's like, give me a sword at least. And Tywin's like, yeah, there's your sword. And Jaime finds a sword, but it's, like, lit up. It's a pale flame. Like, it's lit up in pale flames. That's all it is. And then he hears, like, somebody behind him. And it's Brienne. And she's like, I swore to keep you safe. I swore an oath. And all of that. And she's shackled, so she's like, will you please free me? And Jaime does, and then it's the two of them against the darkness, which I feel like, you know, obviously what that means.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Oh yeah, Cersei tells him that, like, you'll live as long as the flames on your sword live, but then eventually, as Brienne and Jaime are left alone, his sword flame goes out.
Yeah.
And then he dies in his dream. Have you ever died in a dream?
Yeah. Like, many times.
Really?
Yeah.
I've had, like, so many... I don't think I've personally died in a dream.
You've killed had, people like, in dreams?
No. Like, people close to me have died in many of my dreams.
Right.
It's always terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, in his dream, he's, like, trying to follow Cersei, which, well, like, this is all kind of, like, all of his anxieties and his mindset, like, meshing together. I don't think there's, like, any great symbolism in this. Basically, he realizes that Brienne's on his side.
Yeah.
And
I
he
think
should
it's
help
also
her.
Just him, like, really, like, you know, because when you're sleeping, you kind of work through it, and it's just him realizing, like, oh my god, like, love my sister, but, like, shallow AF. Probably not gonna be happy with this. Same thing with my dad. Like, she's the only one. It's kind of
like the Lannisters abandoning him and him kind of moving away from their influence, which can only be a good thing, honestly.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But Tyrion never makes an appearance, interestingly.
Well, yeah, because he ain't ditching him. But he's also not, like, his fucking twin flame, you know?
The other thing that happens is that a bunch of riders come riding, and it's, like, the previous King's Guard and Rhaegar Targaryen who are like, you killed the king, you didn't protect my kids, like, all of the blame and guilt he's feeling, you know?
Yeah. Because it's like all of his... Excuse me. Okay, nothing came out. Anyway, it's like all of his fucking, like, it's like all of his sadness, and he's, like, devastated, but then on top of that, it's, like, all of his guilt, and especially, like, yes, we love Brienne, but I feel like this whole recent, like, journey with Brienne, he's had to relive it and retell it all so much that it's, like, exhausting every time you have to, like, go through it in that much detail, right? It's, like, now it's just, like, top of mind.
What do you mean?
Like, retelling everything that happened. Like, all the stuff he hasn't told anyone.
But he's only told Brienne. Like, what is this retelling, you mean?
Like, just
Who
telling.
Else has he told?
Telling, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah, like...
So, like, for once in his life, it has actually come out.
Yeah, and it's like, holy shit, I've never said that. And, like, you know, sometimes when you say traumatic things, it can be freeing, but sometimes it's just, like, takes a bit to, like...
Yeah, and it's also, like, Brienne's dedication to her own oaths is making him realize, like, man, I could do better. I could be a better person, you know?
Yeah.
Because she's a pretty good example.
Yeah. Slay Queen.
Yeah. She is. And at one point in the darkness, he's like, she looks more like a woman, also more like a knight, which I was like, I don't know, I like that.
You know, it was cute, because he's like...
Because she is more of a knight than any other knight we've met.
Exactly,
literally.
And it's like, he doesn't really believe in knights, but now maybe he will because of her. Because she's the knight that he wants to believe in. She's his knight in shining armor.
Maybe dented armor, but yeah.
Can be shiny and dented.
It can be a filthy dress that she's made to fight a baron.
Ah!
Speaking of which,
Please.
He wakes up and he's like, we're turning around. And if you don't turn around with me, I'm going to tell my dad that you were responsible for cutting off my hand and that Roose Bolton ordered it, and y'all are going down.
We love using being a Lannister for good.
Yeah. And they're talking to Qyburn, and he's like, do you believe in ghosts, Qyburn? And Qyburn's like, you know what? I feel like I saw a ghost one time, and if we leave our smells behind us when we leave a room, surely something of our souls must remain when we leave this life. But then he's like, yeah, but the Archmaesters at the Citadel didn't like my thinking. Although this guy, Marwyn, did, but he was the only one. Now, I don't know if you have a space where you put down things that we're going to come back to later, but we've heard about this guy, Marwyn, and we're going to hear about him again. Just wanted to bring it to your attention. Clearly an Archmaester at the Citadel.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, so they go back and blah blah blah. Oh yeah, so they finally make it to Harrenhal. Like it takes like a whole last day because they've gone a whole day, you know. So they finally get there and they're let in through the gates because, you know, the brave companions still think them as allies. So he rides through and he hears like a bunch of people shouting over back there. So he rides over there and he sees that Brienne has been put in the bear pit to fight the bear.
What the fuck?
And then he sees that she's wearing just like the gown they gave her. No armor, no nothing.
Oh my
and he goes to Vargohod and is like, dude, let her go and I'll pay her ransom and all of that stuff.
Oh my god.
And somebody calls her a wench and he's like, her name's Brienne, which I loved because, you know, they've been having this like argument this whole time, but now he's defending her.
Yeah.
Although even in this, she still calls him Kingslayer, which I would like for her to move away from.
But then, no. Right at the end of the chapter, she's like, Jaime, thank you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you're right. I kind of forgot that.
This was a moment of, like, stress. You don't have a chance to think and be like, oh, maybe I should stop calling him Kingslayer.
Right. Okay, fair enough. Anyway, apparently she bit off Vargohod's ear, which I'm totally cool about.
Please, that's so
the
funny.
Only way to be.
Oh my god.
And Jaime's like looking at her fighting the bear, but she's not really fighting the bear. She's just trying to get away, and But she has a sword, so he's like, why aren't you just stabbing it and getting out of there?
Mm-hmm.
And then he realizes that it's a tourney sword. And he is so mad. And he turns to Vargahot and is like, get her out. And Vargahot says, you want her? Go get her. And it just says, so he did. So he just jumps in this fucking bear pit.
I can't.
Without thinking anything.
You know what? This is where my standards need to be. If you wouldn't jump into a bear pit
without any second thought.
Yeah, one-handed, no weapon to defend yourself, without any second thought, I don't need you. I don't need you. And that's where we're at. This is where
you should put that in your dating profile.
This is where my self-worth needs to be at, because this is beautiful. Like, one could just be like, oh my god, he has really come to care about her as a friend, but you're like, no, we're romanticizing this all the way to the moon. No, he's not fucking come to care. The two fucking swords in the darkness. Please, you want me to read you some of these quotes? Like, bro, no. Their blades made a little island of light, but all around them stretched a sea of darkness, unending. I ain't doing that with my homies.
You wouldn't do that with me?
I would do that with you, but I ain't doing it with you.
Okay, fine. Okay, so anyway, he jumps in and he tells her to get behind him, and everybody's freaking out, and finally Steel guys, what's the name of the guy?
Waylon or Waiton? I don't know. Okay, before that, he like just grabs some sand and then he like throws that in the bear's face. And then he grabs like for anything and he finds somebody's like jawbone on the floor. Oh my god, yeah.
In the sand.
Yeah.
And he throws that, but he misses by a yard. So he's like, oh my god, I gotta cut off my left hand as well for all the good it does me.
Okay, we need to talk about this part. Okay. What are you doing here? Something stupid. Get behind me. You get behind. I have the sword. A sword with no point and no edge. Get behind me. Like, the fact that they can't, even in this moment of, like, they're both about to die, it's still a power struggle. And that's, like, the best thing. Like, that is what is beautiful about this relationship. It is now a relationship.
Okay. All right. Calm down.
I'm not going to calm down. Thank you very much.
They're failing miserably to fight off this bear with nothing. So the guy who's like in charge of Jaime, I can't remember his name. It's on here somewhere. His dudes finally fire some crossbow arrows at the bear. The poor bear. And
okay, but someone's got to take the L. And here it was the bear.
Yeah. So they kill the bear.
Mm-hmm.
Steel Shank. Oh my god, what kind of a fucking Steel Shank? Okay, so Steel Shank's archers like do that, and then they square up again because the bloody mummers are really upset. Mm-hmm. But Vargahot looks at it and is like, okay, so I've got half the dudes, and also they're half drunk or double drunk, really. So I should probably take the L here. And he says, okay, fine, you can take her, but tell your dad that I did you this, like, service. And Jaime's like, oh, yeah, well, I'll for sure tell him. Not that it'll do you any good, but...
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and then at one point, they're like, we're taking the wench. And he's like, her name's Brienne the maid of Tarth. And then she turns to her and is like, you're still a maid, right? And she's like, yeah. And then he says, oh, good. I only rescue maidens.
That was funny. And then...
the fact that he can still joke in this
environment. And with what's currently happening, yeah. And then she's like, Sir Jaime? And, like, not only... First, the fact that it was Jaime instead of Kingslayer, and then Sir Jaime, literally, my heart. I can't. Like, oh my god.
So, we're, like, she's never gonna call him Kingslayer again, is that? I kind of feel like that because he did save her, but like it was the only decent thing to do. But he did, so
yeah. But like, yeah, I don't think she'll call him Kingslayer again unless it's like, you know, years from now when he's like healed from the trauma and she's like making fun of him. You know, and they're happily
you think
married.
Everybody's gonna be alive years from happily married? Shut up.
It's fine. It's fine. They're gonna be
okay. Yeah, she's
married.
like, "Why did you come back?" And he's like, I dreamed of you." And then that's the end of the episode. No chapter.
Dreamed of you. I dreamed of you.
But he did. I can't hear you anymore. What happened?
He dreamed of her.
You just went out for like a whole minute. I have no idea what happened.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Bro.
I thought you were just making like, oh my god.
No, I was fully speaking. My audio was picking up. Is something wrong with your ears? Can you not hear high frequencies anymore?
I can't. Or maybe in defense to such high frequencies, my ears shut off. That might be it, you know?
Sure. It's giving old person, but okay. I'm joking.
I never said I was a young person. All you Gen Zers and your
You're literally Gen Z. You are literally Gen Z.
Shh.
Like, what are you on about? Oh my god. Anyway. He dreamt of her.
Okay, all right. We don't need to go back to that octave.
We do need to.
Okay, any predictions? Are they gonna make it to King's Landing?
I want a Jaime who doesn't throw kids off of windows or off.
Okay,
of
Jaime's, please submit your applications.
I'm dead.
We'll just ask for an application for everything.
No. We need? Oh my
god. For real though. Are they gonna make it to King's Landing?
Yes, because love always wins.
Oh
love
my god.
All.
But then it would be like Jaime and Cersei's love.
No, they're not in love. They're just narcissists.
They are. That's true. Really, the happy ending would be them ditching this whatever and then like sailing off into the sunset somewhere.
Exactly.
If you want to be romantic about it.
Yeah, they go live the rest of their life in like frickin'
Bravos or some shit.
Yeah, exactly. Somewhere magical.
Yeah. Is there any other predictions?
We covered all of them as we went, as far as I think. I mean, we might want to predict on like what are, you know, Tywin, Cersei, and like what's Jaime gonna do about his whole love dilemma?
Okay, say they make it, yeah, and then so they can't return Sansa because she's married to Tyrion, or can they?
They can't.
Okay, so what's Brienne gonna do about that part of her oath?
She will steal Sansa.
Okay. I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And then, but that means that Brienne would have to leave, and then Jaime and Brienne would be separated, and that would be so tragic.
Yeah, but, I mean, this is like, okay. A lot of things would have to change for this relationship to work. And it's just, like, unfortunately, it's happening.
Okay, so
happy relationships can't happen in this universe.
We'll get to the obvious questions, but how are the people that were previously sworn to Renly, who are now in King's Landing, i.e. the Tyrells and whatever, how are they going to react to having Brienne there?
Ooh, I didn't even think of that. I mean, they might just be like, hey, Slay Queen, but oh no, but they think she killed him. Oh shit.
A little bit.
Right. So they'll probably be like, fucking banish her. But she'll be like, I swear I didn't kill him, it was a shadow. And they'll be like, funny. But then Jaime will be like, she didn't. Listen to her. And everyone's gonna be like, shook.
Okay. Tywin, is he gonna be happy to have Jaime back?
That's a loaded question.
Just answer it so we can finish this episode and go to sleep.
No. Yes. Yes.
No, yes?
Yes.
Tyrion's gonna be happy about it. That I'm sure of.
Yeah.
Will Cersei be happy about it?
Probably not.
No?
No.
He has most of the parts that she's concerned about.
I'm dead.
If we're being fair.
I'm dead. I mean, okay, valid. But emphasis on most.
Right. A little less foreplay. He'll have to work his left hand for sure.
Yeah, he's gonna have to train.
So Cersei will be moderately happy?
Yeah, sure.
Give me something.
Yeah, she'll be moderately happy, if you say so.
What? I don't say anything. I'm getting you to say things.
Sure, she'll be moderately happy. Okay.
Wow. Wow. That is giving nothing.
I'm
Try
tired.
Again.
I'm tired. She'll be moderately happy.
Okay, fine. I think that's it.
We're done.
Right?
Bro. We're. Oh, I have one more.
Will Qyburn be back at the Citadel?
No, Tywin's gonna kill him out of anger.
What? But he saved Jaime's life.
Yeah, but like Tywin's gonna go.
Will they get there in time for the wedding?
Oh, yes. No. Yes. yes.
All right. Jaime will be there to walk his son down the aisle or whatever.
LOL.
Um.
Please. That's such a funny thought.
Why is it funny though?
Okay, next chapters.
Fine. Let me look them up. I don't even know how many we're reading next time. Oh, here we go. Oh, look at that. We are going to read 3 chapters. I don't know why it took me so long to count to 3, but it did.
Oh my god.
1, 2, 3. 3 chapters. 45, 46, 47. Thoughts?
Jaime, John, and Dany.
Okay. Well, none of those.
Damn. Okay. It's really
Chapter 45 is Catelyn.
Catelyn. Oh, okay. They'll be leaving to go to the wedding, just doing some last minute preparations, baking a cake, that sort of thing. In their easy
wedding
in their easy
Why
bake
is
oven.
she preparing for the wedding that she's going to? Wouldn't they be more likely to travel?
No, they are traveling, but Edmure's got to do something, right? So
they're baking a cake on the go.
Yeah, easy
How
bake.
does that work?
Easy bake, duh.
Okay, so they're preparing for the wedding.
Medieval easy bakes. I've reached hysteria. We need to wrap it up.
Chapter 46 is Samwell. Remember him?
Oh, yeah.
Mormont died.
He's coming with the girly...
Gilly.
Girly Gilly, same thing, just kidding. He's coming with Gilly. He is going to, Castle Black. Maybe he'll run into Ghost. And he'll be on his way to Castle Black.
Will they get to Castle Black?
Yes.
In this chapter? Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. At least somebody survived that debacle.
Mm.
Chapter 47 is Arya.
Arya. Okay, Arya is becoming our new main character.
No, but that's remember in book 2 when every other chapter was an Arya chapter? She gets a lot of chapters.
True. She's our main character at this point. Arya will be with Sandor Clegane, Cleganing it up. Get some Cleganes.
So I think your thing was he's gonna take her to the Lannisters. So they'll probably be traveling again to the Lannisters in the wrong direction again.
Exactly. And she'll be like, so, Sansa. Or he'll be like,
ever gonna
Sansa.
meet her family?
Probably not.
Well, if she gets to King's Landing, then she can meet Sansa. So there's that.
Yeah, but what if Sansa escapes by the time she gets there?
Right. Oh, that's exactly what would happen too, though.
Right? Exactly.
Now they'll be like, oh, I guess instead of Sansa, it was actually really Arya who married Tyrion. Forget about that previous notice.
True. Sansa's the one we haven't told
definitely
you.
Did not fuck up and lose a daughter.
Exactly. Sansa's definitely totally the one we haven't given you any information about for the last year.
Yeah. Okay, so
you said we had
a trip to King's Landing.
You said we had an email.
Oh, we do have an email. Okay. Thank you for reminding me, because I'm
in the mood for an email.
Forgot. I'm always in the mood for an email.
Me too. I love knowing that people
listen. Gosh, there's another email. Let me read it before I read it to you.
Okay. Yay, I'm excited.
Okay, so the first email, hang on, let me get your face on my screen. Where are you? There you are. First email is from Thato. Okay, I don't know how to pronounce this name. I'm very sorry. Please correct me if I did it incorrectly, which I probably did. So, the email is titled, I couldn't wait, with 3 exclamation points, and it's all caps and everything.
Oh my god,
it's very exciting.
I love that.
Hello, Harmat and Nav. I'm so excited to be writing this to you guys. My name is Thato from Botswana. Pronouns he, him, and I have spent the last 5 days binge listening to your amazing podcast.
Oh my god! You know what my favorite part of that so far is?
The binge listening?
And he wrote Harmat and Nav instead of Nav and Harmat.
Okay.
Anyway, continue.
I initially wanted to send this email only after I had caught up with you guys, but I just couldn't contain myself. Ha ha ha. As I write this, I am currently listening to your discussion of chapters 9 and 10 of A Clash of Kings. So he binged all of, book 1 in 5 days. That's dedication.
That's Nav level. That's Nav level podcast listening right there. I'm proud of you.
It is. But we're glad you're here.
Also, I'm glad that you emailed before you finished, because now you can email us multiple times.
I actually first subscribed to the podcast last year, but only started listening 5 days ago.
Ooh.
It has completely taken up the space from most of the podcasts and audiobooks I had planned to listen to. That's how much I'm hooked.
That's such an honor.
Yeah, and wait, I had a thought, and what was my thought? Oh, you probably won't get to listen to us read your email until you catch up, so.
Oh my god.
So send us another email once you listen to this email.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god, that's so I mean, it's cute because it's like a little time capsule, but it's kind of sad.
Yeah. I actually first subscribed to the podcast. No, wait, I read that part. The next part is, like Nav, I'm quite familiar with the Song of Ice and Fire universe, having been introduced to the show first in January 2019. I only started listening to the books last December, but I do have to admit that I have never read/listened to the first book, A Game of Thrones, ever. That's fine.
Whoa.
It took me until being dedicated to this podcast to actually finish the series. Because I was like, I know everything already. But I didn't. And now I know more things. And it's more fun. Anyway, I have read all the Duncan Eggs series. Apparently there's a planned total of 9 of them.
Whoa.
Which, who knows if we'll get any of them. As well as Fire and Blood. I always chuckle a bit when you, Nav, teasingly drop certain lines that only people who have finished the books could get.
Oh,
thank you.
I hate it here.
Which Harmat doesn't.
Whatever.
How you'd also chuckle a bit when Harmat unknowingly predicts something accurately and then proceeds to poke holes in her theories. Yeah, it's hard to keep a straight face, but...
No, so I've poked holes in accurate theories of my own?
Yeah, 100%. All the time. Every time, actually.
really? Every time it's accurate, I'm like, okay, but that doesn't make sense because it's like
no,
this.
because you poke holes in every one of your theories, whether accurate or not. So
it's because I'm insecure.
And the times that you don't, I do the honor
Right.
for you. So
True. So my theories can never remain untouched. Well, I think it's also just because, like, no matter how good of a series you write, there's always holes in what actually happens, you know? So that makes sense. Like, no matter what I predict,
also
there should be
this series
holes.
has a, like, George R. R. Martin has an imagination where he goes a little left when you think he's gonna go right.
Yeah.
Okay, anyway. Harmat dances so close to the truth with her wacky crackpot predictions, and she doesn't even realize it at the time. Anyways, I just wanted to say hello and encourage you guys to keep going. I'm sure I'll send more emails as I continue listening to the show.
Oh my god!
There's a postscript, but it's like a little hinty, so I'm gonna leave it out.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We look forward to you writing more emails.
Yeah,
give us all your thoughts.
Thank you so much. You're so cool, and you should also join the Discord so we can talk to you live.
Yeah, and correct my pronunciation of your name, which I could use.
Yeah.
Okay. Next email is from our dear Ola. Ola, you haven't sent an email in a while. I'm glad you're sending it now.
Bestie Ola.
Okay.
Slay.
It's titled Question with 3 question marks. Dear Nav and Harmat, I just have one question. Could you please remind me/us of how Bran decided that he had to go find the three-eyed crow and what he expects to find? Where in the books did he get this determination? Was it from his dreams about falling and flying, or was it from Jojen? Thank you for the wonderful podcast. I'm so happy to record. I'm so happy you record weekly now. Regards, Ola.
Oh.
Thank you, Ola.
Love you,
okay,
Ola.
let's see.
My favorite unspoiled, my favorite fellow unspoiled friend, since I don't know any of the other ones.
Okay, as for Ola's question, how did Brad decide that he was gonna go? So he had, okay, I want to hear what you have to say, and then I will.
From my understanding, the way it worked was like, first, obviously, we had that, like chapter 1 of book 1, where he first dreamt about the crow, right? And then,
it wasn't chapter 1 of book 1. It was after he had fallen.
Oh, so, like, a couple it was, like, his, like, 3rd chapter or something. Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he had that, like, first introduction. And then I feel like it was showing up in his dreams more, and then he was like, that's cool. And then Jojen came in, and then Jojen was kind of like, we could go find it.
Yeah, Jojen. Remember, Jojen was having all those dreams of, like, Winterfell being destroyed and, like, Reek killing Bran and Rickon and all of that kind of stuff. So he was already warning them that something is going...
Wait. I'm going to add that to my predicaments channel, because I totally predicted that.
I think you did, but I don't remember the exact specifics.
But I predicted it, some aspects of it for sure.
Well, to write it down, you'll have to know which aspects.
Okay, well, I will figure it out, and it doesn't have to be specific.
Whatever. Okay, so, yeah, Bran was having dreams of the crow that was like, fly, learn to fly, like, who needs to climb when you can fly kind of thing.
Yeah.
And then Jojen came in and he had those dreams that were like warnings that things are not going good and you need to leave Winterfell. Like, that was Jojen's thing.
Yeah.
And then Jojen also encouraged him to go find the three-eyed crow.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that came about. And then it also obviously all came to a head when they were forced to flee Winterfell and had nowhere else to go. So now they're going to the three-eyed crow. And I think, what does he expect to gain? Like, what does he expect to find?
Open his third eye.
Yeah, I think Bran still kind of might have hope that the crow can help him walk again.
Yeah.
I think, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, definitely.
So it all kind of happened in book 2. So if you want more discussion on that, you can either read the book or re-listen to some of those Bran chapters. Mm-hmm. But I think that's where it happened.
Yeah, and then, so with Jojen and Mira, they pretty much came here because of Jojen's visions, right? They, like, felt compelled to go.
Yeah. he was having visions, and their dad was like, dude, you gotta tell Bran about these visions.
Right. We love Ned's old friends. The real ones. The real pals.
Did you forget his name?
Har something.
Howland.
Okay,
Reed.
I had the H. Come on.
Yeah.
It's my It's my fellow
You had his
H.
like initials, HR.
Yeah, it's my fellow H bro.
Yeah, hope that answers your question. I think we can if we missed anything, people, please like add more to it in the Discord.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So that's it for emails. And we talked about next chapters and we did the whole thing. So everybody else who hasn't done so, email us. Our email is popculturesymposium@gmail.com. And our Instagram is @popculturesymposium. You should follow that for artsy quote thingies.
Wow, you really sold them on that.
I don't remember. I don't know what the word for
Just
it is.
follow it for fun little weekly updates when we post.
Yeah. And then send me DMs with like little haha behind Harmat's back because I'm the only one who reads them, so it's fun. It's fun when somebody's like, I can't believe she did that.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Do it on the Discord
do
in
that.
the non-spoilers chat.
Oh, really?
Yes. Put it there accidentally, and then I'll see it, and then you can delete it, and I will thank you.
I always see it before you see it, and I delete it before you see it.
Oh, I hate that. And
also,
you know
I've got Mott's on my side.
You know what I'll do?
He deletes them when I can.
You know what? I'll turn on notifications.
And you know what? Mott's never sleeps. So I don't think that's not true. We're just like in different time zones so that like we kind of have all time zones covered.
That's funny. No, but if I turn on notifications, then it doesn't matter if you delete it because I'll see it. Or you can't, or you, I know you won't do it because you've got too many notifications. Yeah, I cannot afford to turn on Discord notifications, you guys. Like, that would never work. It's fine.
Okay, so we've discussed everything to death.
I guess I'll have to suffer in the non-spoilers channel. Ugh.
We only have... It's just the two of us against this darkness of a book.
Ugh.
Let's talk about it next time. And until that time, farewell, my friends.
Smooth. Talk to you later.